Hello everyone, Brian here, and today I've got a game of Domination for you on grid. But this video is really not going to be about the gameplay at all. This is going to be something a little bit different. I had mentioned in one of my more recent videos that I had an idea that was swirling through my head, and something that happened to me on Saturday night just reinforced it a little bit for me, so I decided I was just going to go ahead and do this for you today. The way this is going to work, and I guess we're going to have to rely on the honor system a little bit here. I am going to ask you guys all a question, and I'm going to give you some instructions. What I want you to do is, after I ask the question of all of you, I want you to immediately pause the video, answer the question in the comment section without reading any other comments that anyone else has posted, and then at the end of the video I want you to go back and respond to your own comment and just see if your thought changed or if you would answer my question any differently. The idea for this video actually came from a conversation my wife and I had a few weeks back, and a question that she asked me. Every once in a while, sometimes after my wife and I have a few drinks, is we do this in a very relaxed way. We just go over where we are financially and where we are as far as our master plan goes. Because in a few years' time, my wife and I do want to move to Texas. She had went to college there in Austin, and we're actually going to be going there in June for a few days for a class reunion of sorts for my wife, because she was a military brat and she went to high school over in Germany. So there's going to be a little bit of a class reunion this coming June in Texas that we're going to be going to, so she can catch up with some of her former classmates. And since it's right near Austin, we're going to be in San Antonio for a couple days. We're going to go tour Austin for a couple nights and days and possibly look at some houses, and just so I can get a feel for the town, because she really thinks once I go there I'm going to fall in love with it, because it's such a nice place and it's so laid back, which fits my style completely. So that's our plan, and we were just touching base as far as where we are financially, because I know I mentioned this in an earlier video, but a lot of my newer subs may not be aware of this. I am currently a property manager for a storage company. I had lost my job a few years ago when my company closed down right at the beginning of the economic downturn in this country. And she had asked me the question during our conversation, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I'm going to ask that of all of you as well. It may apply, obviously I can ask that question exactly the way it sounds to a lot of you younger guys. But some of you older guys, I guess I could phrase it as, when you first meet somebody, how do you describe yourself? So that's the question I'm going to ask. So right now I want you to pause the video and answer that question. And I'll give you a moment here, and then I'll come back and go over the second part of the commentary.
We're being dominated. Take those positions.
Okay guys, now all of you should have left your comment if you did this honestly and followed the honor system the way I asked, without reading anyone else's comment first, to get a feel for how the video was going to play out. When my wife asked me that question, my answer almost immediately was, I really don't care. Now, this may be because my mindset has changed as I got older. Ever since I lost my job a few years back, and my wife and I, started having some financial difficulties, and we really needed to, scrape and scrimp to get by to keep the bills paid. But ever since then, I really don't care what I end up doing for the rest of my life. As long as the bills are paid, my wife and I are able to live comfortably, and by comfortably I mean that we don't stress on a daily basis about money. If there's some place we want to go, we have the money to go do it. If there's something we want to buy, we have the money to buy it without getting into debt. Because over the last few years, that's a situation my wife and I have been in. We really got into financial trouble a few years ago, and we're just now see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as getting ourselves out of it and being able to save money again and get back on track to being able to move and do some of the things that we always wanted to do. So with that being said, I think a lot of people out there define themselves by what they do for a living. And I'm not saying this to judge anybody, and I'm not going to judge anybody by the comments you guys left me here either. But it recently occurred to me that a lot of people seem to think that way. The most recent example, which I mentioned at the beginning of this video, which occurred to me this past Saturday night, My wife and I had went out with some friends. One of her former co-workers has been out of work for a while since she was laid off, and she had just found another job, so it was a little bit of a celebration outing. And a lot of their other friends were there, most of which we have never met before. And one of the gentlemen they were friends with that had just started talking to me when a couple other people had stepped away to go to the bathroom or whatever it may be. And the first question he asked me, and he phrased it exactly this way, he's like, "So, what do you do for a living?" And like I said, I really don't define myself by what I do for a living. That's not who I am. That's what I do to earn a few dollars to keep my bills paid. But that's not my personality. And it just really reinforced the thought or opinion I have formed in my head that by how I answered that question was how he was going to judge me or view me as a person. So once he finished asking me that question, I just sat there for a second and looked him in the face. And I said to him, which I think really shocked him, I said, "What difference does that make?" And he just sat there and looked at me, and he really did not know how to respond. And actually, he just turned away from me, which really shocked the hell out of me. Because, like I said, I don't define myself by what I do for a living. That's not who I am as a person. If you want to get to know me as a person, then phrase your question differently. I would define myself as a loving and caring husband. I'm a very easygoing, friendly person. I am a great friend to all those that I call my friends. I always go out of my way to help those that I feel are in need or that ask for my help. I would also say that I try to be, and I think that I am, a good son to both my mother and my father. That I've been a good grandson to my grandparents, who thankfully are still alive. But their time, unfortunately, is running out due to health issues. Also, I've been a good brother to my younger sister, who, granted I don't speak to as often as I could or should, because she lives a couple hours away, but we still stay in touch, and I think I've been good to her throughout my life. So, that's how I would describe myself in basic terms. Not by my job title or what I do to earn a paycheck. Because just because of your job title doesn't necessarily make you a good person at heart. I mean, I've met many people throughout my life that will immediately judge you and formulate an opinion of who you are as a person based on how you answer that question. And like I said, I just don't really think that that's how we need to view other people. Because when you look at it, you'll see many different politicians out there, senators, governors, whatever it may be, that end up cheating on their wives, lying, stealing money, and they're not good people. You also see doctors out there that physically abuse their patients. You'll see lawyers out there that lie and cheat just to win and end up hurting other people. I've also met plenty of people that work at fast food restaurants, waiters and waitresses and bartenders, that are the nicest people you're ever going to want to meet. They sincerely care about how you are, and sometimes when you get to know them a little bit and they remember you, they ask you about how your family is, and they just sincerely care about how you are and how everything is going in your life and how you are as a person. I guess what it all boils down to that I'm really trying to say is we're all so much more than our socioeconomic status, and we should be viewed by who we are as a person and how we treat other people, rather than, like I said, a job title and an income level, a home we own, a car we drive, or whatever the typical way of looking at status, I guess, would be viewed. Because in my opinion, that's really not a way to formulate an opinion of someone and what type of person they are, deep down inside, and how they're going to treat you and how they treat others. So now that the video is going to be winding down, I just want to say sorry if I got a little bit preachy, as I tend to do that sometimes in videos such as this. And it's almost time for you guys to go back and answer your own first comment again with follow-up. Because I know if it were me, and the way I would answer the question going forward in life is, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would answer it, not based on a job title or a job description, but I want to be a, loving and caring husband. I want to be remembered by my friends and family as a good person. And that's what I would really base my life upon and how I would describe myself. Because when you really think about it, and if you look at it later in life, what does it really say on everyone's tombstone when you die? It doesn't say, you know, talented doctor, you know, well-respected lawyer. It doesn't say, you know, mayor or politician or, you know, high-powered executive. It normally says loving father, loving husband, loving wife, good mother. It doesn't say anything about your job. It says about who you were as a person, how you treated others. So I'm going to look forward to reading all your comments as I always do, and just see if any of you changed your answers or thought things a little bit differently. And as always, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. I will see you soon, and I hope you have a good one.